Good evening, gentlemen. This is Sir Yeetus, and I'm here with episode 64 of Yeetus's Thoughts. I know that this is a last second live stream, but I was able to get some time. This live stream won't be long though. It'll be around like an hour 15 minutes. So it won't take up too much time. I just want to talk about this topic that I personally had to deal with today. You know, I know we all realize that in the West, women they are not held accountable for their bad behavior and decisions. And even when they do, like when they do something like freaking horrendous, such as murder, rape, or being a predator, they're held accountable, sure. But more likely than not, they'll get a lot less time than a man would if he did the same thing. I'll tell you the situation in the bit today and then put my input because it's crazy how society are quick to take down a man easily for slightest mistakes. But when a woman does something horrendous, they're quick to be at her aid and not give responsibility to her. I'll explain my situation a bit. Let me read these comments. Hey, Shot of Whiskey, what's going on, man? What's going on, D-Man 50? Once again, Steve Sanchez, what's up? The real male portion of society is women. I mean, a big portion or whatever. So they don't want things to change. And another portion are simps. So they enable these women to act the way they do. And the rest either don't care or don't have a voice. Yeah, you pretty much summed it up. Pretty much. Because don't get me wrong, okay? Men like you or me or people within the warband, of course, we're not afraid to hold them accountable. But unfortunately, it's not enough. It's not enough whatsoever. And then when you do hold them accountable for their horrendous behavior and decisions, they act like a dumb teenager, wondering what they did wrong. And that is very concerning. That is very, very concerning. I was literally at the bar, right? And then, I'm sipping, I'm doing my thing, and then I am hearing a person on the phone at the bar, literally, like he's literally screaming in his phone, like, "What the fuck, bitch? You told me that she was mine. You told me that she was my kid. What the hell? Blah blah blah." And then I can slightly hear the voice in his phone because he has a big ass phone. She's like, "Why are you yelling? It's not that big of a deal. Why are you overreacting?" Really, she literally told the man that he was overreacting, that he found out after 8 years that his daughter wasn't his. She said that he's overreacting. It's not a big deal. And she was laughing on the phone as well. That is that is disturbing. That is disturbing. Because at least 100 years ago, maybe more than 100 years ago, these type of women that like to be adulterers with 304s, they will be dealt with a swiftness. The easy way is she gets divorced, she doesn't get shit, and she just gets kicked out of the house. Ostracized by society. That's how it used to be. But now there's women in 2022. I know it's been happening for a while, but women laughing in a man's face in 2022 because she lied to him for 8 years about a kid that's not even his. That is beyond disturbing. On top of that, when women go nuts when it comes to, hey, maybe you shouldn't be dealing with that certain guy. Hey, maybe you shouldn't be going out butt naked in public. Hey, maybe you should be focusing on your priorities and not about what you want. They go on a furious, childlike tantrum like a child. You don't tell me what to do. My body, my choice. And then they want to bitch and moan when the consequences come at her at the speed of light. Negative consequences. When her reputation or her life is ruined because of her own bad behavior decisions, she will most likely have the audacity to blame another man. Probably you. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. I didn't have a choice. Blah, blah, blah. That's her going through life. Nobody is holding her accountable because they're too afraid. I don't blame them either, but at this point, I personally don't give a shit. I do see why men are not even bothering at this point, because what's the point? What's the point? They're not going to listen. They're just going to crash and burn and then blame you in the process. And then it doesn't help that there's more and more men out there that's getting brainwashed by this feminist stuff, becoming more effeminate, being being all weak and emotional, somehow being brainwashed into joining that sisterhood and not putting his foot down and let her know what she's doing is wrong. In fact, this effeminate man will encourage her and defend her when she does bad things. That is disturbing. And I know you gentlemen already understand what I'm saying, but I just had to emphasize how dangerous things are getting. I just had a thought an hour ago like, damn, women literally do not get blamed for shit. Now that I think about it, they don't get held accountable at all for their poor decisions and behaviors. Nothing that I can think of. Unless it's something that is beyond horrendous, like murder and other horrendous actions. When she does get held accountable, is literally a fraction of what a man would have gotten if he did the same thing. Hell, there's more and more teachers in Western society that rather go after their own students, high school. They rather go after their own students than to deal with a man of her own age because he's average. And plus, she's sick in the head going after students. And I don't give a fuck about the, it's he's a young man anyway. All young men have these fantasies and blah, blah. Shut the fuck up. Hold these sick bitches accountable like you will hold these sick dudes accountable. But, of course, not 100% can go against the females because part of the problem are the simps and the simps in power. Similar to the person that she had relations with a high school student, and then that very high school student was held responsible for child support years later for that child. And there's more than one case of that caliber. Yes, a high school student was put on child support because a grown woman pretty much took advantage of him. I don't give a fuck how people say it. And I was thinking about that. I'm like, holy shit. These bitches are sick. Is it mostly their fault? Yes. But society and the Simpson power are at fault as well. But most of the fault are towards the females themselves. I just want you guys to Just honestly think about how many things that women can get away with compared to a man. How many horrendous, wicked shit that model women can do that a man cannot do. I just want you guys to actually picture that in your mind. Besides the most horrendous crimes of humanity, which you guys know what I'm talking about, with everyday life of how women treat other men, how women treat other women, how women perceive men. Hell, thanks to what Island Herman said, I don't think he's in the chat right now. I'll check in a bit. Thanks to what Island Herman said, there was a gamer recently. I don't know if she was trolling or not. I don't know if she was. There was a famous Asian girl gamer. I need to look up the story again, but she made some statements, various statements that were not cool. And one of them was, if a man is below 5'7", he is not human. The only thing that she got in trouble with is she got fired from her label, like her sponsors or something like that. Like she was fired from her gaming group. Imagine the crucifixion. Imagine how quick a man will be destroyed if he said the same thing. How quick a man's life will go in a downward spiral if he said that out loud in public. Replace man with woman. Compared to, oh, if a woman is heavier than 140 pounds, she's not human. Doesn't matter what caliber of a man he is, he will be annihilated. At least his reputation. That's how crazy it is on how much women in society can get away with. And then they have the audacity to bitch and moan that they're quote unquote oppressed. Very funny. Because they know that all their power comes from victimhood. They can't get what they want if they cannot be a victim. You guys know what I'm saying. Being a victim as a woman gets you stuff without working for it. Little to no effort. If society stopped treating women as victims, truly stopped treating them as victims, it won't be a good outlook for them. Because, once again, imagine if men constantly preach, oh, we're oppressed, which First Amendment rights wise, I say so. When it comes to voicing male issues, oh, definitely. We have legitimate reasons to feel oppressed when it comes to voicing our concerns with society and men and women dynamics. But once a man speaks out just a little bit, shot down by friends, family, society, social media. So let's keep it real. Do you really believe that I would have this gift right now, this cool gift that you guys helped me get? Do you guys really think I'll have that if I knew that I won't be destroyed if I revealed my identity? Everybody in the Warband knows this. Once a man reveals his face and actually preach about male issues, he's at high risk for his life getting ruined. But women, on the other hand, they can openly say that men are not human and nothing happens. Just think on that, gentlemen. Think on that. I'm gonna start inviting people into the stream if you guys want to talk about it. I'm throwing down them links if you guys want to join. Meanwhile, if you guys want to support the channel or the Warband, please donate to paypal.me/Sir Yeetus. All money will be going towards what the Warband needs or the production of this channel. There will be an update to this channel soon. Don't get me wrong. This is just a quick conversation I want to have to you guys. This isn't really a official stream. This stream is only going to go on for like an hour. I just had to get this off my chest because the more I thought about it, the more concerning it is and how much modern women can get away with and face no consequences for a man's life being ruined or he loses his life in general. Gray, what's going on?
Evening, I just saw you were doing a gorilla stream. Figured I'd hop in.
Yeah, this is going to be a quick stream. I just wanted to get that off my chest on the fact that society is way too afraid to hold women accountable. Okay. And the more I think about it, I'm like, holy shit, literally almost all aspects in society today, women can pretty much get away with. But a man will get literally jumped within a 50-meter radius if he did the exact same thing a woman does.
Also, it goes. There's a couple layers to it, really.
What are those layers?
Well, on one hand, you have what's the benefit of holding a woman accountable? You can't really extract something valuable from them in the short term. There's nothing consistent like labor that works.
Nope. If it's not done on a massive scale, it's useless. At least beyond family.
Well, even you just look at net tax wise. What are you going to do with them? You throw them in prison, they're a net loss. Anytime when they have to be supported by society versus extraction of a resource, you're usually running at a loss.
True.
And then, of course, there's the second aspect, their ability to unite the simps. If you do something that women en masse complain about, then you'll actually get the simps to rise up in a way that they won't if you step on men.
Okay. So the overall thing that you're trying to say is
doing anything that pisses a woman off doesn't really benefit you.
Oh,
you can't get anything good out of it, and there's a pretty decent risk. I mean, with let's use Jack Murphy as an example. Would he be going on half as hard if he hadn't snapped at a woman specifically and attracted the wrath of the simps? He's a safe target because he attacked a woman specifically.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why he completely messed up. He fucked up. Not just about the cuck article. The fact that, he put his foot down aggressively as a equal, of course that shit doesn't exist, but when it comes to treating everybody the way you want to be treated, and his past is being brought up, Like if it was a man, it might have been maybe would have been a different outcome, maybe. But the fact that she attacked little old, I forgot what her name was. Fuck, you know, little old woman. He's
Yeah.
what 6'4", 200 some pounds of cucketry. That's where it all went wrong.
Yeah. So like right then and there, I think he could have been 100% right in his assessment that she knew,
Right.
but doesn't matter. He goes at it in a way that tried to hold a woman accountable. And he gained nothing from it. Like even her saying, "Oh yeah, you got me. I did this just for clickbait." Like so what? Even if she did, so what?
I agree.
And what does it do? It pissed off all the Sims. It triggered that, oh no, must protect my woman. And so then he is now completely roasted and he's thoroughly annihilated any chance of coming back in a way that if he just either A, owned it, B, denied it, or C, kept his mouth shut, feigned ignorance, he would have been fine.
I agree 1,000,000%. It's just no upside in holding a woman accountable to these days. It's literally not going to end well because, like I said before, it's just how do I explain it? The fact that she has all these safety nets and the backing of the government.
Well, that's the thing. They're
She's very
public
bold
property.
now,
Like they're public property. They belong to the government.
pretty much.
If you had a society where like every man had a woman, then you'd get okay, like say let's look at this two different ways. So one is you have the single men watching a Brittany Venti stream, which let's be honest, most of because I'm pretty sure it was Brittany Venti, but most of what her audience is going to be horny single men.
Yeah, I didn't know who she was, so the underchronic thing.
Yeah. But then let's swap it around. Let's put it where her audience is mostly married men. Do you think that those married men's women are going to be happy with their husbands simping for a random ehore?
Nope.
So then you scale that up and you get to the point where all these wives are telling their husbands to not simp, for anyone other than them. You're going to get a society at large where the men don't simp for anyone but their one woman. If you take the one woman away from a majority of men, then men simp for the government's women, the public property women, hoping to get a private woman to simp for. But you can really collectivize the male simp response.
Brittany Venti fans are simps, not men. Well, of course. Like
biologically, they got the chromosomes, so
like I would not be sitting there listening to her bumbling nonsense. Like I try to watch around 10 minutes of one of her videos because I'm like, okay, who is she? Straight up nonsense. I'm like, fuck this. But I do see what you're saying, Gray. Right now things are just out of whack to the point where men just don't give a shit anymore. Women are not giving a fuck anymore about their behavior. It's getting crazy. It's getting out of control. And what irks me the most is teachers going after high schoolers.
Oh yeah.
That's the biggest thing. And the fact that that child wasn't of age and he was still responsible for child support. Like that's where I pretty much started to lose faith in the courts when I learned about that years ago. I'm like, how are you gonna hold a child accountable more than a grown woman?
Well, again, but okay, so let's use that exact situation as an example. What do you gain from holding the woman accountable? I.e., throwing her in prison, because
Yeah,
that's what
her
you
bitch
do
ass will
to.
go to jail. Yeah,
All right. But she's a net loss in jail. You gain absolutely nothing.
that's true. But morally speaking, especially doing something like that, it should be considered, but it's not.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. For stuff like this, I've learned to just throw morality out of the window because that's not what's factored in when these decisions are made.
It does when men are.
Well, no. It's not done when men are. It's the excuse that is used.
All right, excuse. Excuse or not.
Like that's the thing. Like when men are being punished and we're told it's for the sake of morality, that's just to stop the other men from revolting. Because those men will be like, well, this wouldn't happen to me. I am a good, upstanding man. Like this will never be used against me. I don't break the law. It's like, motherfucker, they'll move the goalpost and then you'll be considered a bad man. And then it will be you.
Wait, what the? Heisman versus Kansas. And I tell you, I don't know about that case, but I'll look it up. Well, I can hear you looking it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's all about the prison system and all that, all that craziness.
Well,
I know that's pretty much one of the main reasons. But overall, it's just insane how it's not something that should be taken lightly at all, regardless of the situation. It's never accepted. But from the government's perspective, I do see what you're saying, Gray.
Yeah, because it's when the objective is to control men. I can't find anything specifically on that case. I just find something on a radio show. But when
give me 1 second, Cesspool, if you're still here, give us a rundown about this case. What'd you say, Gray?
Yeah, but okay. So if the objective is to turn a profit, well, you lock up a man. Okay, there's your profit. You get control over a man's life, over his work options, over his finances, over the output of his labor. Control a woman. Well, you're not going to get that same. You're not going to get productivity. Like the thing that really got to me, I read this one book. Man's Search for Meaning, written by a gentleman who was in a concentration camp. And when they were separating out, who got sent to the labor part of the concentration camp and who got sent to the showers, the women were sent to the showers.
Right.
Because they weren't, because when you're trying to get labor and you need to feed the people who are going to be working for you, you can work a man to the bone and still get productive work out of him on a minimal budget. You're not going to turn that kind of profit with a bunch of women. So they get liquidated.
I see what you're saying, man. I'm going to have this one person that's waiting. Toxic, man, what you doing?
Puniti.
Were you here since the beginning of my live?
No, I had just gotten off of work. I'm pretty much walking home right now, but I decided to tune in because I ain't at my computer right now.
Okay. So when it comes to this topic, what's your perspective on now that I think about it? Literally in 2022, women are not held accountable at all when it comes to bad behavior and decisions. No matter what I can think of.
They are not. It's almost no one's held accountable for their bad behaviors, both male and female.
What do you mean by, so you think no man is not being held accountable for their bad behavior either?
For certain men, no, they're not being held accountable. More of the working class, the respectable men, the ones who provide for society, they're the ones who are punished.
What do you mean, like the top 1% of the 1%, the uber elites who have the money and resources to get out of being held accountable versus the 99.9% of men?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like when we're talking about men versus women, like it goes without saying that the top 0.01% of men are going to get away with shit. They're the nobility.
Yep.
The people who make the rules, they don't really have to follow it.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm saying. They don't follow the rules now.
That's true, but when it comes to common men and women, women in general are not being held accountable whatsoever of what they do. And if they do get held accountable, they only get a fraction of the punishment if a man did it.
I totally agree on that. And it's unfair. It's unfair to most of us.
Yeah, and how do I say? Us men, we understand that we should have some type of, we have that sense of being responsible.
Yep.
That's what men do. But if we have responsibility with no authority, it's pretty much slavery.
Yep, that's exactly what it's almost as you're saying it. You're hitting it on the nail, man. You're hitting it on the nail.
Yes, and majority of common men, they get held accountable for the tiniest of things that they do.
Yep, the tiniest infractions, we are held accountable, no matter what we do.
And the crazy part is, all men are capable in 2022 to have their lives ruined or thrown in prison off of a woman's allegations alone.
I agree. Everything you're saying is absolutely correct. I'm seeing it with my own eyes. Although it's not happening to me personally, I see it. I see it now.
Because what do you think will happen? Well, Gray, since I don't really hear men doing the same thing to women, but what do you think will happen if a man lied on a woman saying that she did something horrendous and then finds out that she was innocent and that guy was lying the entire time?
Well, then you get the collective of men to turn on him immediately.
Right.
Heck, you get the collective of men to turn on him even if he says something that's true.
Exactly. I definitely agree with that. Because it doesn't even have to make it to court. If he did lie, it is proven that he lied, there's her family, his own family, society in general, because his face is going to be plastered all over the news.
Of course.
Unlike a woman.
I mean, he's going to
be punished.
But you can have direct video evidence of the woman violating the man in some way, and it will be accepted.
Oh yeah, of course, because they'll make up some BS excuse, say, "Oh, she just there's something wrong. She had a bad past, a bad childhood, man. Like she's dealing with them demons. She's overcome them demons. All right,
but that still doesn't excuse
judgmental.
That still doesn't excuse the bad behavior. It doesn't.
I know,
but that's the thing. No, but it's not a rational set of thought. It's a rationalizing. The men feel that the woman shouldn't be punished because they have that instinct to protect. And so they start making up excuses to justify it.
Exactly.
But in the end,
I deal with that with my work. I deal with that at work.
Yeah.
Excuses.
Just excuses. Like nothing but just gossiping, playing with their hair or whatever, being on social media, sitting down, rarely doing anything But when you call them out of it, how dare you? How dare you call me out on my bullshit? When a man does it, oh, okay, my bad. I'll get back to work. Or he gets fired. When a woman does it, how dare you? Wait till I tell HR about this. Like,
Yeah, and
girl,
that's the other thing. Freaking HR is completely ruled by women, so
yeah. So that does not help
I
either.
agree. I agree.
although like that's the thing. Although when it's women versus women and it goes to HR, like then is when women will hold women accountable. That's why women like male bosses, because the man will protect the woman. But when it's women versus and mediated by women, well, it doesn't matter what justice or truth is. What matters is who's favored.
And when men are less likely to sabotage or play games with their employees, you know, male bosses, I rarely see any male bosses going out there and literally causing drama or literally, how do I say, making their employees' lives a living hell just because I'm the boss. You're going to listen to me. You're going to do what I want. You're on my payroll. So I'm going to make you do some ridiculous, unnecessary stuff. And there's nothing you can do about it because I can fire you. I rarely hear male bosses doing that. Just get the job done and go home.
And there will be some bosses that they want things done their way and they're not willing to listen to any counter arguments. But it's different from
fine.
That's the thing, but that's a lot more about satiating their own ego rather than doing it specifically to fuck with someone for their own amusement.
Yeah, I rarely hear male bosses doing that. They're male bosses are actually busy in my opinion. You know, they actually are more invested in getting shit done during the day. Female bosses, they just, you know, sit around and make their lackeys do the work for her pretty much. I rarely had an issue with a male boss. If it's an issue with a male boss, it's not because of something social, like drama and shit. Maybe it's pay.
What makes my job a little bit easier, seeing that the job I work at is mostly of women and social workers. I do have a male supervisor, old school type African American man. I mean, he's taught me well. I mean, but I have a female coworker too, and she's okay too. But it's almost like she's hovering over me. It's more than my supervisor, who's a guy. So it's like I know what I'm doing. I've done this since I was 12.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. Like when I was in the military, I just in the morning when work start, I'm like, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, and this soldier right here needs to do this. Come back here at around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Just get those tasks done and you're good. That's it. Just get your job done.
Yeah,
I don't care what you do after that.
My supervisor is just like that. He doesn't care what I do because, like I said, when I'm at work, it's very slow there right now, but everybody's getting ready to come back. But to pass the time, I bring my laptop with me to work and pass the time online with YouTube. But you know, hold on a second. I'm getting ready to switch over to my laptop now. I'm at home. So
It's all good, man. I'll be waiting.
Okay. All right. I'll be with you.
Right. So yeah, when it comes to women not being held accountable, man, yeah, I definitely agree. It's definitely at the workplace as well. Like it is. Whoo! I definitely dealt with it personally. Man, oh man. Literally. They literally get to sit on their ass.
Sit on their butt and chat and cause all kinds of problems. And honestly, if it wasn't for all these quotas and requirements, again, set in place by the male collective, I'm positive that they wouldn't even be hired as much in the first place.
Exactly. And the fact that they get paid the exact same as me, and me and the other male soldiers are doing all the work. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's like that's the thing. Like, they're less profitable. Like I accept at my work that I'm not going to get paid more until I turn a higher profit margin for my boss.
Right.
Like I get that.
That definitely, yeah. But I am going to start adding people. Man, a lot of people want to join. This is very surprising. But let's do it. There ain't going to be too many, though. We're going to try to do 4 max. What's going on, Dr. Red Pill? And what's going on,
what's good?
Real Melons?
What's going on, guys? It's going great. Still putting content and just keeping on that grind at the gym.
Is your mic good?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You hear me, right?
A lot of, yeah, there's just some cracking in your in the mic.
Cracking.
Right, you might have the gain up a bit high.
All right. How is this now?
All right, try it again.
Good.
A little bit lower.
How's this?
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to Real Melons. Real Melons, you there? Or no. No. Okay. Amazing Ice, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
Amazing Ice.
Hey, it's going good. I am going to start with Dr. Red Pill. What's your thoughts on the conversation so far?
Well, all I have to say right now is, guys, this whole thing about strong, independent women being leaders and stuff it's. Apologize.
Yeah, Dr. Red Pill, your mic is popping again, unfortunately.
What?
Yeah, it's popping again. Is it popping again, Gray?
Yeah, a little bit. Like, I don't know if you've got it set to like auto hear stuff, but the gain just keeps turning up way too loud and you keep blowing out every time you talk.
But hey, I'm gonna switch to Amazing Ice for now.
Okay.
Amazing Ice, what's your perspective on the conversation so far? Were you there since the beginning?
Oh, not since the beginning, but I kind of get a gist of what we're talking about from the topic.
All right.
My personal opinion is it's the same thing as if you let your child have too much slack. If you spare, if you spare the discipline to your child, you don't actually love them because they'll never learn from their mistakes. So it's kind of the same respect in my personal opinion. Women will never learn if you don't offer consequences for actions. So that's just the way I see it. I don't know if I'm on your topic or not, but I felt like that fit the gist.
Pretty much, they're like grown children, pretty much. How you say when it comes to their emotions and behavior, they in my opinion, like once again, a child won't respect you if you don't set boundaries, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Actually, it kind of reminds me of situations I've encountered where, right, so you got a daughter who is split between the mother and the father because mommy divorced daddy, but daddy has partial custody. The mother was completely afraid to enact any sort of discipline or boundaries on the daughter because the daughter learned that she could say, well, I'll just go live with daddy then, because daddy treats me like a princess and gives me everything I want.
Huh.
Well,
yeah, and not my dad. My dad will be elbow dropping people. Like, hold
yeah.
up.
Yeah. No, but then you expand that to modern society, like anyone who starts to enforce discipline on the woman well, I'll just go to mommy and daddy government because they'll give me whatever I want.
That's true. It's how do I say? That's why many men that I know so far in my life say it is a lot easier, at least in this day and age, to raise a son than a daughter. You know, it's a lot less hassle besides the alphabet community bullshit.
Yeah, it said is like boys will give you trouble when they're teenagers. Women will give you trouble their entire lives.
You ain't wrong. Oh Lordy, it's never ending. Like that's why the saying has always been popular. Can't live with them, can't live without them. Because we kind of need them for reproduction.
This thing, like we can. That's what's like. We can technically live without them.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like we need them just for reproduction purposes.
Yeah. Well, now the thing is, a lot of the times I hear that it's coming from a simp trying to rationalize why he puts up with bullshit. It's like,
oh no, dude. No.
It's like,
never keep up with never allow bullshit in your life. All I'm saying is the only reason that saying is around is I agree it came from simps, but for manosphere perspectives, that's all she is literally can give you is reproduction. And even then, men are like fuck that these days. Well,
that's the thing is like she's not your woman. They're not your children. They are her children, and she belongs to the government.
Depends on the where she moves the goalpost.
Yeah, that's the thing. But like that she can move the goalposts whenever she wants on a whim.
Yeah.
Well, you also got to think that a lot of that is subjective towards the location that you live in. Because obviously the same rules don't apply in like the Middle East.
Oh, Middle East? Oh, they got that shit on lockdown right now. Jesus Christ.
That's facts.
Woo, they're not playing over there in the Middle East right now. At least in Afghanistan, they're not playing.
Part of that, like I've listened around a little bit, and there's a bunch of like Afghani simps. So it's not like a 100% guarantee.
But no, not yet, since the certain group, which I don't really want to say, pretty much an extremist group, just recently took over.
Yeah, well now it's the
they haven't set up yet.
Yeah, like the brother band.
The religious band. Yeah, no, the religious authority has just switched, but that's just switched which men are in power, and now it's the religious men.
Yes, and what's it called? Do I agree with everything that they do? No, but they the what's it called? The Sharia law thing. Oh, it's definitely going to happen over there. It's only a matter of time. They haven't set up yet. They haven't completely set up yet. So, but when it does, that's all I can say. But of course, here in the West, it's a complete opposite. Complete opposite. And yes, cesspool. Afghani women were burning their diplomas. Okay, diplomas, because
they follow strength.
Yeah, and they're very the brother band is very faithful in their cause. So there's no really change of their mind for the most part. That's why they're extremists.
Yeah, that's the thing. They know where their political power lies, and it's not in empowered women. Like they are this. Now that being said, like pretty sure that if you get a bunch of men that don't wholeheartedly embrace the cause, yeah, they're probably not going to fare much better than the ones who still burn their bras. So like you either support the power or you get the fuck out. And every man that didn't openly support the power, he ended up on. He was made an example of. Let's say.
Yes, I definitely believe you that happened, and I should have a live stream about that tomorrow. How night and day society will be in Afghanistan and in the West. There's a difference putting Simps in power and putting brother band Chads in power. Where men,
but at the end of the day, like they're in, and at the end of the day, they're enforcing their own political will.
Yes, political and religious, both. Because
religion
is both going to be intertwined.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it's kind of two sides of the same coin. Like whereas in the West, we've united around. Well, that's the thing. It's essentially a religion over here. The ideology of freedom and equality for women. Like it's not for all; it's for women. And you get a bunch of men to jump on that bandwagon because they see that, well, they believe that it benefits them. Whereas when you've got the religious power and control, you're going to jump on the religious bandwagon because you see that's where the power is and you see the consequences for it. Just as a man who speaks out against the religion of feminism in the West gets metaphorically crucified, one who speaks out against the religion of peace in the Middle East, he gets literally crucified.
Literally, yeah. And what's it called? We see the results of, men not setting boundaries. The men in power. It's a night and day because once again, that situation has been around for thousands of years. Even with all the wars and stuff that we've been having the last 100 years, it's still there. It's still going to be strong, and it's going to be strong for a long time. Because once again, you can't really break thousands of years of culture and stuff unless you wipe out majority of the population. But in the end, you see the difference in the West where men are too scared to set boundaries. I'm talking about the men in power. And then in the Middle East, more specifically Afghanistan, there's men that won't hesitate to step on your neck if you don't follow the rules.
Well, and the other thing is that the ones in the Middle East, like they have proven now that they can go against the entire world and win. Whereas the ones in the West, they capitulate to the entire world. The comforts of a globally organized and operated society.
Right.
Like they're not willing to give up those comforts in order to establish their own sovereignty.
Yes. The men in the West got too soft, way too soft. It's very alarming. It's getting, how do I say, the last 10 years, it's just the population of effeminate men just exploded.
Well, it's not just that the effeminate men exploded. All the men worth their salt were killed.
That as well, yes.
Yes.
I'm talking about the states. I'm talking about the states, right? Because that's what I'm talking about. I was talking about the United States, where the population of effeminate men is just exploding at this point. The last 10 years, it's just whoosh, thanks to information war and stuff. And the more if you want to weaken the nation, weaken its men.
Well, that's the thing. Like you weaken the nation as an individual nation, you make it more susceptible to global command.
Yeah. So, with all this craziness that's going on in the world, I have not that much faith that hypothetically, if things do go down, it's not gonna be easy for us. It's not gonna be an easy war.
No.
because I left 2020. I know what the state of at least the Army is. It's not looking too good. Don't get me wrong. We still got great fighters, but only so many.
Well, and then there's the question of, like, where does the loyalty of the Army belong? Because we look at the situation up in Canada, the amount of guys who I hear talk like, there's still good people in the cops, there's still good people in the military. It's like, these people who you are defending will gladly step on your neck for a paycheck. They don't care about you.
They don't at all. And that's going to be the biggest thing. How many people, let's say hypothetically, shit does pop off, hypothetically, Susan, how many people are willing to step up and fight? That's going to be the most concerning thing for people that still care about the U.S. A lot of people, I don't think, is going to pick up weapons unless it's defending their family.
That's the thing. And the ones who are going to pick up their weapons, they're going to do it like for the government.
Right.
Like, they're going to do it because, well, that's your paycheck, that's your job, that's where your privileges are.
Yeah, you signed a contract. But here's the thing. People can still go AWOL. People can still desert their positions. That's going to be a big issue, in my opinion, in the future. It's going to be a big problem. What'd you say, Amazing Ice?
Sorry, I'm trying to find a great moment to interject, but I would like to pose a hypothetical. A lot of the people that think the same as we do aren't on the internet. So I'm curious. Obviously, it won't be in like cities and other places like that, but how many people do you think are like-minded like us that are less big government in rural towns and cities that are willing to form up community-wise to defend their values? Just a hypothetical.
That's the thing. Defend their values. I'm willing to bet it's a lot less than we'd like to think. Like, they will defend their property, they will defend their family, but will they sacrifice their comfort for their values? From what I'm seeing, no.
Only people that live in rural areas will have a higher chance to give up that comfort. Whether it's they're just picking up a weapon or going to war.
But that's the thing. But they're going to wait until like the cops are literally outside their doors with guns. But they're going to wait until the last possible moment before they do anything. And by then it's too late. That's like, if you're waiting for you, the remote rural individual, to specifically be targeted, you've already lost.
And that is going to be the most annoying thing of all, the fact that women and the feminine men push for this to happen. And then when shit goes nuts, they're going to be looking at you to save the day.
Yeah. Now, that's the thing. If it's like, there's two situations. One is where there's a widespread economic collapse and you get kind of Mao's Great Leap Forward. The rural people are going to be very well off. It's the people in the cities who are by and large fucked to death. The people in the countryside are just fucked in general.
Yes, that's where I got family in rural areas. Let's go.
Yeah. However, if we get a hardcore government crackdown where within the confines of the legal and economic system, like crackdowns get harder and harder and harder, then it's not going to go quite as well for the people in the rural areas because they're going to be subject to the same laws. They're going to be punished the same. And they're not going to step up because they're going to be like, well, I can still feed my family. I can still feed myself. I could go off and live in the woods and not have to bother with people, but I like my sports ball. I wouldn't get cable out there. So
shit, the last thing I want to do is, get involved in a crackdown because they want to take your weapons. Because once again, that's the one thing that the U.S. should not push for, or it will be game over. It's taking away weapons.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. But like, they can't do it en masse. They have to do it just a little bit here, a little bit there. If they go en masse, then all the guys with weapons will go, "Oh shit, I'm next." But again, it goes back to like punishing men versus punishing women. So long as you're able to give men that moral idea that, oh no, if you're a good man, then this won't happen to you. And every man goes, well, I'm a good man, so I'll be safe. Until the law changes one day and you find yourself on the wrong end of it.
Yep. Like what the big bad man said in World War II. If you guys know who the big bad man I'm talking about. If you want to easily take over a country, take away their weapons. Because it was too easy for him to do it. Just take away their rights to have weapons as citizens.
Yeah, but then there was the other one where one of the big bad men of World War II, when he was rounding people up, there were tons of people who could have stood up and said no and ambushed the enforcers and won.
Yeah.
But they didn't. Each individually looked out for their own skin while their neighbors were kicked screaming out of the house, were drug out of the house kicking and screaming.
Yep. I definitely agree with that. And very similar. Pretty much even worse, in my opinion, is going to happen in the U.S. Way too many people. It's going to be a rodeo. It's going to be pretty interesting. What happens? And once again, if we all would have just continued following traditional values, continue to be traditional, hold up our end of the bargain.
That's after World War I, the amount of men willing to do that was largely buried.
True.
And so then it's like, well, design a system for weak men. The weak men outnumber the strong men. The illusion of consent, like, oh, the majority of the population voted for this. Like, the majority of population is women and weak men. So,
yeah,
the majority of the population.
Be involved in a situation where the people that are never required to go out and die in battle gets to decide my fate
because it's morally right.
And that's why I'm like, nah. Like, I see why many men are just walking away. Like, what the fuck? Like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah, but that's where the whole morality comes in. Like, what is true? Like, what is truly moral, and what simply has the veneer of morality as an excuse?
Aren't you men supposed to be the white shiny armor?
Yeah, again, like the Philly train thing. You've got men trying to shame other men, or like honestly, even some of this shoplifting stuff. Where like, well, I wouldn't stand for that if it happened to me. It's like, all right, well, you go there and you deal with it. Well, I don't live in that kind of neighborhood, so it's like, well, then shut the fuck up. If you're like you can gladly go and protect Nike from theft. No one is stopping you from going out and do that. But you start to shame other men for not doing what you're not going to do, but you say they should do, fuck you.
I think a lot of it depends on the stakes of what there is to lose. Obviously, somebody who has their own liquor store that they own has more of a stake than some, 16-year-old that's just looking for a paycheck to, buy his first car at a Nike store.
Before you continue, I gotta do my last show. Warband, if you want to support my channel or the Warband in general, please click on that link that I pinned on top of the chat. The whole link right there. And donate to paypal.me/SirYeetus. All right. Look at the gift that you got me. Look at the background that somebody drew for me and Rishi. It's because you guys' donations. If you want to send a super chat, if you want me to get to a question right away, hey, just send in that quick donation and I'll be able to answer your question immediately. Okay. All donations are appreciated. It's going to make the channel a lot better. I'm not done yet. I'm going to be continuing getting better with the production of my live streams and stuff. All thanks to you guys. Thank you. All right, continue, Gray.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So like you get these men who like they don't have stake in the situation. They're not going to go and do it themselves. They're going to try to shame men based on, well, this is right to do. How dare you as men allow this to happen? And I was like, the cops will freaking punish you for doing the right thing. Oh, well, you should do it anyways. Like, no, it's not my fucking problem. Like, we see what happens to the men who go out and try to enforce morality. We see what happens to these men. They're dead. They're dead or in jail for hate crimes. This is done with the consent of the government. The government permits this. The government allows this. Heck, the trucker issues up here. Freaking emergency wartime powers being activated for over a bloody winter festival, whereas freaking shit can actually be on fire. People can be dying. And he's like, no need for emergency war powers now. No. We need to respect people's right to protest.
Yeah, screw that. No, you guys need to comply. I'm here for your safety. I'm here for you. Do not resist.
Yeah.
I am from Big Brother, and I'm here to help.
Literally.
and then I look at these people who like talk tough shit like, oh, communism's not going to get here. I got my guns and I won't let it happen. It's like, so when you breaking those out? Pretty sure like these are all the warning signs. You're gonna break it out. It's like mumble, random excuse. Like that's what I thought, buddy. That's what I fucking thought.
Pretty much, you have to be ready to self-delete if you are on that page. And
that's the thing. When you've got, a wife and kids, a family, when you've got that kind of shit to live for, like all of a sudden you're fucking big talk and bluster. Like when it comes time to deliver on it, you fucking back the hell down.
Yeah. Yep. I imagine that we're going to see something very akin to far left Ruski overdrive as we saw post World War II with stalling your car. So, I mean, that depends on if things go hot or not. So.
Yeah, that's the craziest part, man. That's the craziest part. All of this could have been avoided. Well, many things could have been avoided. Not everything, but many things could have been avoided. When it comes to society collapsing from within. Like what, I forgot who said it. Like the old saying goes, good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. Yeah. Let's not blame women, that want to be equal to us. Even though they're strong, independent, they're still weak and feeble.
That's the thing. Like you're letting them play house.
Barbie house.
Yeah. You're letting all these women play house, and you don't want to upset them because you don't want to say like no, because so many men just aren't willing to say no. You're wrong. You're stupid. Wake the fuck up and deal with reality. Yeah. No, they don't want to be the bad guy, or they don't think it's their problem. It's like, well, it's not your problem right now, but it's gonna be. And by the time it gets to be your problem, it's going to be too late to do anything about it.
Yep. You are on your own.
I think the reason why a lot of men are afraid to enforce boundaries is due to the fact that they have not matured past the stage of, introspection and the ability to be free of the cares of what other people think. For example, like if you want something out of life and somebody is like, no, you probably shouldn't do that because of some random reason. It's like, well, are you gonna not do it because somebody said that you probably shouldn't, or do you do it because you want to and because it's the right thing for you to do? A lot of it comes down to the fact that a lot of men are still afraid of social peer pressure.
Yeah, that's definitely something.
Well, men are more individualism, and women are more collective. They're a big fan of democracy.
100%. But we have seen, I believe we've seen the reversal of that due to the younger generations being more into the public schooling. It's designed in a way, from what I've seen, that enforces that kind of communal thinking, and it's kind of hard to grow up from that system.
That's facts.
Yeah. The last thing, I even see it like not just in the younger generation, but the older generation. Like where you get a bunch of people who they're very comfortable with allowing the collective to hold power over them because it's worked. Like it worked for them.
Well, it's who's perceived as right at the moment. Whoever has the most power at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, hold up. Detroit, there's noise in your background.
There's noise in my background. Hold on 1 second.
That's an RIP, my guy.
I hear like a 1920 car. Just
Yeah, something squeaking like crazy.
Oh no,
yeah,
the Honda CRB needs a new transmission.
You guys can hear me better, right?
Not popping out anymore.
Oh, thank God. I was gonna actually interject if you guys don't mind.
Shoot.
These women want to play house, like Gray said. You had spot on. I even say that these women want to play pretend leader, but they can't lead. Guys, a great
Dr.
article.
Phil, hold up. Detroit, the squeaking sound.
I'm not sure where it's coming from, but I'm going to turn off my fan.
Yeah, it's probably the fan.
It's probably the fan.
Okay, there's nothing now.
Damn, how's it beeping louder?
Have you canceled the echo?
I have.
Oh, okay.
It's still there for some reason. You'll be able to hear it after the live stream if you can't hear it. But hey, I'm gonna have to let you go for now and see if you can fix it.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead, continue, Dr. Red Pill.
Perfect. So, guys, a great article. You guys should definitely look up. That will support my thesis that women at large can't lead effectively, at least. Catfights over handbags and tears in the toilets. Perfect article. Perfect example of how emotionalism is not conducive to an effective leadership.
Yeah, correct.
Repeat that again.
I was saying that within the article, it goes to show how emotionalism is not conducive to an effective leadership, or rather, an effective society being run off of logic, in fact, statistics, instead of emotion. And what we see now within the weakening of our society is that a bunch of men, emotional men at that, they become soft. So we give these softies power, it just goes for all the shit.
Yeah, that's the result of society since birth all up until adulthood being heavily influenced by women.
Exactly.
Heavily influenced. You know, it doesn't help that she probably kicked the father out of the home. You know, that's the first. And then it just goes from there when it comes to school, college, hospital. I don't know.
What if we scaled that up just a little bit? So, yeah, I know. Take it one step further with the logic here, but okay. So, yeah, we have the women playing house, but when a woman plays house, she doesn't actually control the house. She has a little doll house with dolls that she moves around, but all that was bought, paid for, managed, and maintained by her parents, specifically the father. So then what happens when the house is being run by a woman playing house? There needs to be an authority above that to keep things running.
That's
so
true.
You have a girl play, like you have women and weak men playing house in a house that is being played with in a country that is being played with. Because you look at many of these leaders, they're not focused on their country. They're always talking about global unity because their power and authority comes from outside the country. They are just puppets. They are just playing house with a country, while mommy and daddy globalist are the ones who are actually controlling them and telling them what to do.
I see what you're saying.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's a good step further. It makes sense. It not just a household. It literally extends to worldwide situation.
How many of these companies is it someone at the top just playing CEO while making all their money off of government grants and handouts, and they'd fall apart? Like how much of these like freaking Vox Vice bullshit companies, which are going under now, like they made all their money not by delivering a proper product, but off of startup capital, investors. Like they didn't have to be successful. They just had to keep their investors happy, and money was constantly flowing in. And then when it came time to actually deliver results, they fold like freaking House of Cards.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, man. What'd you say, Amazing Nice?
Can you still hear me? Am I good?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
You're good.
My apologies. So you also do have to think that they're there because they're the only option. In construction, there are a lot of companies that just make bacon because they're the only construction company that has a monopoly on a certain patent or a certain way how everything is constructed. So they really get all their money due to the fact that they're the monopolization. And a lot of that works like that.
To a certain extent, but keep in mind, like even with something like a patent, that's not something that is inherent. That's something that's enforced by the government. Like if you had two people working on something, working on the exact same idea, the first person that gets it registered with the government, they have an effective monopoly, even if someone else did the exact same work leading up to that discovery.
I mean, that is true. Unfortunately, you're able to get around it, a couple of times. Like, I think that, like, the fridge system is a good example. A lot of people kind of made a similar system, but the way that they did the piping is a lot different. I mean, it also works in ways like, how you patent a certain phrase. Like, for example, shroom lives matter. That's a patented phrase. Yes, indeed.
No, that's. Oh, I guess you got
what?
Well, then, but then the other thing is, like, let's look at, like Google and like all these other tech giants. It's not just that. Well, they're the only game in town that have monopoly. Like, no, there's other game, but many of the other channels have been co-opted, bought out, or suppressed. Like it's not a fair and open system where everyone has an equal shot. like the law and the government and the collective are actively used to suppress competition and enforce the monopoly.
You're making a lot of sense now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah. God damn. But hey, I'm gonna address this super chat. Thank you so much for donating. I'm gonna say BB. I don't want to say your real name, but he says no thanks is necessary. I won't thank you, but let's just say that I am very, very grateful that you donated. Thank you very much. This is gonna go towards a new what's it called? Preview for my live streams. I want to up the ante. You know, the beginning, the countdown. It was simple. Simple, clean, and efficient. I want to do something even bigger. This is going to go towards that. I am very appreciative. So when it comes to women not being held accountable with any other situation, do you? I know it's an obvious question. It's pretty much rhetorical. When do you think, if things go crazy, do you think any woman will say, maybe we did go a little bit too far?
No.
Not at all.
No, the women won't say that they went too far. It's going to be much like it was when COVID got going, where the men are finally going to go, shut the fuck up. We have actual problems to deal with.
Pretty much. Actually, you know what? You're right. Because of that old age joke where it said, hey, why did they send the women and children off the Titanic?
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, no, because they it's a good one, and I see why a lot of men, especially if there's something craziness, like why. See, that's the biggest thing when things go down, especially let's say if there was some roughing up at the bar or something, right? Why like women just I don't know, we're screaming, even the people involved are like, shut the fuck up, like why are you screaming? We're just trying to deal. We're trying to, deal with the situation, and then you're like, oh my god, oh, like whoa, like what the fuck? You're like, shut up.
Yeah,
I'm losing my concentration.
I think I'm convinced that like they just get an adrenaline surge and they don't understand why, and they don't know how to handle it.
They just told me this. Oh my god, like okay, okay,
man.
We just duking it out. I'm not going to kill the guy. Like it's just going to be a scuffle. All right. You acting like I'm running around with a goddamn hatchet, like going all ooga booga. I identify as a Native American and start scalping people. I'm not doing all that. Why are you screaming? I don't know. That just bogs my mind sometimes. I know there's some biological aspects when it comes to that, but I don't know. As a guy, I see why when men have to think, they gotta be alone.
Absolutely.
Or quiet, peace and quiet. Like shut up. Let me think. And now I see why that happens. Because there's no way you can focus on the task when you hear a bunch of sirens 2 feet from your ear, like oh wow, like.
Oh heck, I've found that even being like observed is enough. It's like, look, you want me to get something done, like go away for a while. Just fuck off for a bit. I'll take care of it. But you're looking over my shoulder all the goddamn time. Can't fucking focus.
Like I only see, because I'm pretty sure somebody mentioned it a few live streams ago. I've seen what's it called? Somebody say that they're pretty much the alarm system and things go off back in the tribal times. If you hear women screaming and stuff, like you automatically assume something's up, and if the men rush back to the tribe.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
And the scream should be able to travel far as well, I think.
That's why bars were better before they were co-ed, because when you got all men, they could be like, all right, let's take this shit outside. They go outside, they have a fight, and then they're like, okay, I'm going to buy you a drink now. That was a good fight.
Yeah. That's it, and it was a great thing, you know. You get roughed up a bit, your ears are hurting, you know, your nose is sore, you know, your jaw is feeling not that good, but
Heck,
you know, we got
where else are you going to get combat experience these days?
exactly, you know,
Exactly.
especially war isn't as common anymore. Um, so at least as a men, we able to, hey, you know, we got mutual respect. You know, we duked it out, win or lose. You know, we got our situation resolved. We can move past it and have a good time. That happened a lot in the military. That I can say,
Hmm.
and it's a beautiful moment. And, I have seen it happen. You know, in like high school, middle school, around there. You know,
Oh,
you,
heck, I
you,
remember. So, actually, funny story with grade school. I didn't even have a beef with the guy, but we somehow managed to agree on the bus to school that we were going to fight when we got to school. We didn't dislike each other or anything. We just agreed to a fight.
wow. Oh, I can
Wow.
see that happening. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's something spontaneous, right? Like,
Yeah,
you know what? Fuck it.
yeah, but I cannot for the life of me remember why. I don't even know if he was just like asking if anyone wanted to fight, and I just agreed to it, or if he asked me specifically. But no, it was just like a bunch of kids formed a ring. We like fought for a little bit. I think I was winning, but that was fucking decades ago, so I don't know.
But you
And
guys were cool, right?
yeah, we had no freaking problems with each other.
See, that's the beauty of being a man. You know, unless a man does something horrendous to you, like very bad to you, or somebody you know, like does something very bad, a man can have a dispute, which is usually not that big. You know, testosterone starts to form, and you know, caveman DNA going crazy, and
Hmm.
we'd be able to go outside and duke it out, win or lose. You'll still go get a beer.
Yeah, no, that's actually something Machiavelli spoke about, which definitely hold on to. Like, a man will forgive any injury onto his person, but he will never forgive an injury onto his women or property.
I agree, 1,000,000%.
That's facts.
Yeah, I can't because I don't forgive people, man or woman, breaking my property. But of course, women are protected by the state.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, depending how good my patience is, they get a pass. But if another man does it, yeah, you're gonna pay this back with interest, which is 2 piece in the biscuit. Now, if you're breaking like a PC or your console or your giant TV, you know, like 70-inch, yeah, you're gonna pay it back with ass whooping and natural money
Yeah, you can you can pay in cash or you can pay in flesh.
or both.
Catch that
Like
4-piece.
Like hell, I seen people get mad. Seen men get mad over like they can't find their lighter. They can't. The tools ends up missing, and somehow a friend of theirs got the tools. Or what else was a big thing? Oh, walking in with shoes and messing up the carpet. Ooh,
Oh
Oh
god,
man.
that's something that I never. It seems to be mostly an American thing because I haven't really seen much of it in Canada. But like walking in around in the house or God forbid on the bed with shoes on.
who in the? You know what? Kids, they're stupid. But if I catch a whole adult doing that,
Yeah.
oh, that is horrible. But hey, guys, I do need to use the restroom. So, Gray, do you have anything to say about this topic that we talked about today? Because it wasn't going to be that long.
Yeah. I guess I'll just go with the basic summary that the reason women aren't held accountable is because there's no profit to holding it accountable, and trying to hold a woman accountable attracts a lot of problems from from the men, especially unmarried simping men. So
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I see why men are just like, I'm wiping my hands clean of this mess because there's literally no way I can fix this. It's like what we always say, the game is rigged.
yeah, so like the men who understand that the game is rigged, we can't do anything to do it because the simps will go against us. The government and male collective isn't going to do it because the man that tries to hold women accountable will be overwhelmed by the men, and by the women and the men who will support the women and keep them from being held accountable.
Yeah, that's freaking so annoying. So annoying. But thank you for joining, man. I should be doing a gaming stream later on tonight or tomorrow.
All right,
Well,
and
what'd you say?
all right, and also definitely talk to you on Discord if you've got some sort of art related idea in mind.
Oh,
Of,
I'm down. I'm down for the art.
yeah. So yeah, we can talk later in Discord about that. But thanks again for having me on.
No problem, man. And Puniti.
Ooh, neaty.
Let's go. All right, Dr. Red Pill.
Yes.
You're the last one. Do you have anything to say to the Warband when it comes to the topic or anything else?
Well, concerning the topic, it's just, guys, you need to hold the line and realize that, like Grace said, the game is rigged against us. Trying to hold a woman accountable is like, it's like trying to dive in an icy lake, buck naked, trying to get a carp. Like, you're not gonna get it, man.
Nope.
These women have been taught ever since their inception that they can do no wrong. In all doubt, in any doubt, blame either the person closest within your vicinity or just blame men as a whole.
Pretty much. They literally cut their hand off, like, goddamn misogynist men. Like, what?
Man.
Like, what'd you say?
No. You can continue.
I'm like, what the hell do we do? Like, what the hell? Like, what? Like, you literally took a rusty blade. Literally, you chose to take a rusty blade. This is a analogy for me.
Yeah.
Literally hacked your own limb off, and then be like, goddamn patriarchy. Like, no, that is not how it works. But of course, then move the goalposts. You know, they're going to find a way to blame quote unquote men and the quote unquote patriarchy. So,
but the thing is, though, they can't really do that. I mean, they can do it, but logically, they're not going to be able to do that because, one, they're blaming the very system that built the country up to where it is now, or in terms of innovation, technological innovation wise, right? Yep. But then, two, you cut your own limb off, man. Like, you kind of did that one to yourself.
Yeah, they literally like standing there like, what the fuck? I didn't do shit. Why are you blaming me? Goddamn men, fucking pieces of trash. Men ain't shit. Like, you literally cut off your own limb by choice. Why are you blaming me? Like, you did it. Accountability is a woman's kryptonite, gentlemen.
Absolutely.
But hey, man, I do have to go, but I do plan on doing a gaming stream today or tomorrow, and probably another Yeetus thought stream as well.
All right, man, that sounds great. Yeah, guys, I'm Dr. Red Pill. I'm going to share my channel if you don't mind, real quick.
Oh, go ahead,
Dr. Red Pill. Save young men from self-deletion by exposing the female nature and doing cock-it roasts. Reddit roast, but I call it cock it because let's face it, most of the men on there are cocks. At least the way I see it.
Yeah, man. Go ahead and put your link in the chat so
I
they
will.
be able to subscribe. Thank you for joining, man, and see you later on today or tomorrow. Puniti.
Punchata.
Let's get it. Oh, I kind of cut him off by accident. But everybody, you already know it's a rigged game out there. It's not only men and society in general are too afraid to call women out for their bad behavior and decisions. More times than not, they're unable to. Literally. Even when you do point it out, nothing happens to them. And modern women have the audacity to claim that they're quote unquote oppressed. Think on that, gentlemen. Think on that. This is Sir Yeetus. This was supposed to be a quick one, but hey, an hour and 30 minutes. Hey, that's a good one. That's a good one. We had a good conversation going. I should be doing a gaming stream tonight or tomorrow. I will set it up. I do plan on playing Assassin's Creed Revelations because Ezio is my favorite Assassin's Creed player. And definitely going to be on soon. So this is Sir Yeetus. Hopefully you guys had your daily dose of red pills. And I am out. And thank you to the people that donated today. I'm very appreciative about that. Peace out.